Another video about RBY Invitational 6. Today, we have our first matchup of round 1. We have Excal versus Vileman. Excal is a Tier 1 competitor, while Vileman is a Tier 3. For the first time this year, we are seeding round 1. So we split it into 3 stages, 3 sections. Section 1 plays Section 3, and then Section 2 play each other just for round 1. And then we'll move forward as usual with randomness. I'm very excited. The pairings came out literally yesterday. Excal Vileman were the first pairing revealed, and they wanted to play immediately. And so here we go. Very exciting. They're about to start. I was just on my way to my the town's local Pride festival, and I got the tag from Vileman they're about to play. Just that I parked, and I was like, "Give me 5 minutes. I have to drive back." And it's like a 2-second drive, so it wasn't far at all. But just tagged. Here we go. We have the game. Multitasking a bit, giving them the playing role. As we see, we got 2 Jinx, which is just a classic. Excal is using the RBY World Cup 2 champion avatar, which I love. Of course, we won the tournament together. And Vileman is using his classic Palmer, same that he used for his introduction, his player card. You can check those out on the forums. They're very exciting. There's some big parallels between Excal and some other competitors, as well as Vileman, that I'll get into if we see a kind of a dip in the action. But these players love people in this tournament love clicking. So we'll see how that goes on. Excal decided not to risk the Jinx and instead sacked his Gengar to sleep, to then get back Jinx in, sleep the opposing Jinx, and is now just firing off Blizzards on Vileman's Chansey. So already pretty interesting core from Excal, seeing Jinx and Gengar together. Usually don't see that. You've seen back Gengar before, but you'd more so use it where you'd lead something. If it's 2 Starmies lead, right, and your opponent's gonna switch to Chansey, then you bring in Gengar, right, something like that. But pretty crucial here. Excal got off in total 6 Blizzards. I think 4 or 5 on the Chansey. Doesn't get the freeze, and then a big critical hit there takes down the Jinx. So Excal already down 4 Pokemon to 5. That's a big turn there. Vileman predicts no sleep powder, but honestly, there might not be sleep powder to begin with, right? Considering this Executor is paired with Jinx and Gengar. But a really good double there by Excal into a critical hit. Gets Torsen, is going to miss the Blizzard. Do we see counter? No, we do see Body Slam. It's just going to keep slamming. We'll see if Vileman blows up. Nope, just slams. And now I believe, obviously it's in Hyper Beam, but not in Body Slam range. We'll see what Vileman goes. We can see a Starmie. He is going to stay in, and is going to Hyper Beam, so things going very heavily in Vileman's favor so far. He's going to whip with the Zapdos. I mean, if we see it right on here, you could potentially just call game. With Gengar, you got 3 Pokemon. Vileman's got 5. He's going to KO the Lax, at the very least. And, Jinx is asleep, so still 4 on 5. But, Chansey's on status while Executor is. Maybe if you get the Gengar work, but we'll see. Zapdos is very dangerous. It's going to get Chansey. Obviously no Rhydon, right? Or else we would have seen it. So you'd assume the rest of his team maybe doesn't fight off Zapdos too well. Is going to miss a Stun Spore, crucially. Is going to miss an Ice Beam, very funny. And is finally going to hit the Stun Spore. So that's big for Zapdos later on. And we are going to go to the Lax, so there's no Chansey, which makes sense. Definitely something you see more often, just dropping normals. Excal is a big person who loves to innovate and such. So not surprised that he chooses to do that. Very exciting, though. Hopefully the audio is working. The audio should be working. So hopefully everything's working, or else I'll be really sad. These players should slow down, though, so I get a more chance to talk. But here we'll see what Vileman goes into. Snorlax is dead. The Chansey is compromised. Something like Starmie could come in here, right? But it's just so tough switching in Starmie to Snorlax. It's just going to be Jinx to sack it, because Starmie gets paralyzed. Then you're in Hyper Beam range, you could just get KO'd immediately. Not great. So I assume maybe we'll see a Starmie here. There's no Rhydon, right? Yeah, it's got to be Starmie. I don't think there's an Executor on this team, so it makes me want to say Alakazam or Zapdos last. Maybe lead Alakazam, right? Because maybe if it was Zapdos, they would have gone to it earlier. It's going to be a big paralysis there, as they do reveal Blizzard. It's going to hit again, and I guess you're just going to go into Zapdos, right? Blizzard Starmie is huge in this moment. Oh, we get a crit! I was going to say, This could be a big one. I mean, if Vileman gets a Blizzard off, that's a huge critical hit there. Is going to go back into Chansey, so it does not seem like Vileman has a good answer to the Zapdos. Is going to get a Thunder Wave off. That's big. We're going to keep going. I mean, very dangerous for Vileman here. Knowing Excal, this Snorlax is definitely like 4 attacks, or at the very least has Boom. So what you're wanting here, if you're Excals, you want to take out the Chansey. I mean, Hyper Beam would go crazy here if he has it. Is going to get paralyzed. It's just going to keep thunderbolting this down. It's going to Hyper Beam. And so I assume we're going to see an explosion here. It is going to be Tauros. Excal is surely going to explode here. Is this in Hyper Beam range? I'm not sure. Oh, I guess I could look on the right. I think it is. Yes, it is. So you're going to have to sack the Gengar. It's going to wake up, though. So big chance for Boom here. Surely. Not going to win the speed tie, though. So he's going to have to go to Zapdos. Let's see if Excal could force a tie here. I mean, if it's Alakazam, right? Or Zapdos. Oh, big crit. I mean, if Excal gets paralyzed here, it looks over. Oh, he's going to miss Hyper Beam! And we're going to get Thunderbolt off. So we're going to keep on going. He's going to hit Hyper Beam this time. As we see that really GG's in chat, though, I think it might be over. Vileman does hit Hyper Beam, and he wins game 1. So Vileman, the underdog, the tier 3, is up 1-0 in his Invitational debut against Excal. And while we wait for the next game to start, just want to plug these player introductions you can find on the forums. So if you want to read about any of these players, you can, with stats as well. Excal, former Invitational champion, one of the best RBY players, I would say, currently, and really of all time, considering his accomplishments. Doesn't really play too often, but when he does, he just dominates. I mean, Invitational 2 champion, right? Just won RBY Cup this past year. 10-5 overall in the tournament. Great stuff. And just a great player overall. I mean, I remember he was on my Retro Cup of Pokemon team, and I slotted him to GSC in tiebreak, and he just won. He's like, put me in, I'm going to win. And he did. It was very fantastic. And then Vileman, new to the tournament, had a direct invite in the last edition I didn't host, but declined it. Been in play-ins the last few years. But then finally got a direct invite this year after winning the Winter Seasonal this year. And I think we already have Game 2. We do. Vileman switching up the avatar. Yeah, he's disconnecting so he can fix the avatar. Makes sense. Excal still rolling with the USA, which I love. It's going to be Palmer. Very exciting. And then I was talking about briefly parallels to other players. I might put this in the commencement thread later. But Excal and Isa, to me, both obviously US Northeast, both very talented, multi-generational players playing in World Cup together. Excal won RBY Invitational while Isa finished 4th. Excal won Edition 2, Isa got 4th in the most recent edition. And then Excal won RBY Cup this year. Isa finished, he was a finalist, lost to Excal. And then they both stopped some of the most dominant streaks in RBY history, both by Germans. Funnily enough, Excal and RBY Invitational 2. Friend of Mr. Golem had won 9 straight sets to make it to Grand Finals, and Excal beat him. Well, last year, Isa, he beat Felix, who was 6-0 the previous edition, and then 2-0 going into last year, and Isa beat him for the first time in Invitational history. So, a bunch of parallels between the two of them, who I both greatly respect and admire as stalwarts, especially as they come from US Northeast, and we all won our World Cup together 2 years ago. And environment, very similar to Albi, very similar to Genesis 7, both players who have quote-unquote been in Invitational before. I mean, Genesis played in the first 2 editions, while Vileman was invited but declined. They were in play-ins the last 3 editions, and to me, they were always big favorites, and I was rooting for them to win, but then would always lose in the first or second round, which I found interesting. But then this year, got invited. Genesis started in SPL, and has also been kind of on a heater the last year in the circuit, while Vileman won the circuit tournament. So they're both here, even though they struggled in playoffs. So it's just very interesting. While we talk over things not really going on too exciting, we do see a Gengar Executor Rhydon from Excal. I think we're going to see no Snorlax. So we have Tauros and something else. Definitely not. You don't see Gar, Eggdon. It's not going to be Snorlax. Maybe Cloyster, but... And then we have a Tauros. And then I presume Vileman is just going to have an Executor. Never mind, it's a Cloyster. So we're going to see Cloyzam. Very interesting. Team that was very, very popular a few years ago. When Sing Chansey was first kind of invented. but not so much recently. Like with the decline of Sing Chansey, how it's kind of becoming, how it's just not very effective after it gets that Sing off, and just not really reliable in general by itself. Is gonna be Starmie. Okay, so that makes sense. Close enough. And then just with Zapdos, I mean, you're running that 6, and you're gonna get in. It also kind of assumes that your Starmie is awake, right? But more and more, like your Starmie gets put to sleep with these 6, so not really a team you see too often. I'd say, if Vileman has it. And then Excal, experimenting as always, dropping Snorlax, very interesting things. I mean, he would love to have a Zapdos in this game, but clearly that's not there. Very interesting straight switch to Tauros right there. I mean, did he think he was still getting clamped or something? Yeah, I don't know why he would just go straight to Chansey. But that's a free, like, 36% on Tauros. Just gonna, I mean, just huge damage overall. One of the more interesting things, how is Excal going to counteract Snorlax without his own? I mean, you have Gengar. That's pretty helpful, right? And we'll see if Vileman Snorlax hasn't revealed anything that could hitch Gengar so far. So very interesting tweak to point out. And then on the other hand, how is Excal going to pressure this Chansey, right, without a Snorlax? Things like that. So I wonder if we see a double from Vileman here. Just going to get paralyzed. I wonder if he wants to click EQ. Is Psychic Thunderbolt. So no Ice Shade, which, I mean, you don't need here. I guess on Alakazam it could be helpful. Vileman is just, he really wants this. So I presume we're going to see Earthquake here? No. So we do see the double into Alakazam. And then back to Chansey. But I fear, yeah, like this is just not exactly making great progress for Vileman because you have the Gengar for Lax and then Chansey for Alakazam. So I wonder if he's going to have to just kind of beat down the Chansey a bit, right? Get Tauros in. As it tries to heal, oh, he is going to go for the blind. He's going to go for Clamp, and he's going to get missed, and he's going to get Thunder Waved. It's just one of the reasons, like, I just hate clamping so much. Because, like, you get missed and you get paralyzed, and it's just, it's over. Really less than ideal, but making good progress on this Chansey, at least, with that crit. He's going to start clamping now, but, close to that low. I mean, it'd be great if Excal had a Snorlax, right? But it doesn't matter. Especially. And then that's something also Vileman has to take into account, right? You have Cloyster. Usually that's a big deterrent to Snorlax. But Excal doesn't have a Snorlax, so maybe you can use your Cloyster more aggressively, right? You don't need to, like, exactly worry about it resting, so you can take on lags, things like that. Just another factor to consider. I wonder if we're going to see Excal try to explode here on this Chansey. I mean, he does have 1 explosion, 2... We probably don't want to explode this with Lax. Right on can do a lot of physical damage to Chansey, especially since it is Seismic Toss. But the other thing, like, Vileman hasn't gotten Sleep Off, right, yet. So, Excal, like, he doesn't want to go into maybe his Right on. Whereas Gengar just in case that happens. Is going to be Rest. Woo! I love Rest Executor, baby. Rested all the way up. I do wonder if we see Excal try to get his Rhydon in soon. Let's try to do some damage. But we'll see. He's going to heal up the Chansey. Back to the Gengar. Are we going to see an Earthquake? No. So we go back to Alakazam. So it should be pretty obvious, I guess, that the Snorlax cannot touch Gengar. So Gengar is not going to want to explode. So how do you take down Chansey? You also don't want to get your Executor slept, right? Or Rhydon. So you just kind of play with the Chansey game. If Vileman tries to go to his, like, I mean, Tauros is already weakened. Cloyster can't really clamp. Alakazam is going to get paralyzed if it tries to stay in and beat down Psychic. But, like, Lax can't touch Gengar. But then every time you double a Sam on Gengar, you just go back to Chansey. So we're kind of at a stall mark here. I do think Vileman really can't make any progress at the moment. And I think Excal has opportunities to create progress if he wants to take a bit of a risk. I mean, with trying to get right on the Chansey. I mean, hitting same through process is less than 50% odds. He could also just let Gengar go to sleep, and I mean, it's still wall Snorlax. And Gengar kind of just gets walled by Chansey and Alakazam or whatever. We're going to see a disconnect, which is always insane. That, Chilean internet. not going too hot, it seems. So we are going to rest. So I wonder if Excal is going to take this opportunity. I mean, you probably see Zam, or I guess you just see Zam or Chansey coming in. Maybe if we go to right on, I was like on this Chansey, but then like it's tough. Both players are kind of playing the game where I want to. I'm Excal especially probably wants to chip Chansey down and then try to get him right on, and then hopefully to down like 60% and then try to get on right on a soft boiled. So you kind of minimize those odds of getting like sun through process, which would be a total wreck. So I think Excal is playing it safe, um, trying not to get any depth right away in the game and such. So I do think Vileman is disadvantaged here, but Excal isn't necessarily advantaged, if that makes sense, right? I mean, things that could go in Excal's way, right? He could get a Thunderbolt here now, because which could go huge. Vileman could get some crits on Chansey, which would be big. Still got 30 recovers, baby. Actually, there's only 11 soft boils left. And only 10 psychics, right? So the PP wars aren't really seemingly too relevant at the moment. I am just waiting kind of for Excal. I wonder if here's where we see maybe one more seismic toss and then go right on. Is going to be right on. Is going to be on the S toss, so you don't get slapped. So that's number one priority. But now we are going to do some damage. Is going to get paralyzed, so it's not going to. I assume Vileman just had to try to click Sing there. It's not going to work, and right on is just going to feast here. I mean, Cloister, not too hot. No Executor. Starmie is asleep. Chansey doesn't even have Ice Beam. This lags can't touch right on. Vileman is very weak to right on, I would say. I mean, even with Cloister, is going to have to sec this Starmie. And then Excal isn't even have the opportunity to put up a substitute here, which I think would be definitely helpful. I mean, Snorlax is going to have to like explode if he has it to break the sub, or like body slam into Hyper Beam. Let's see if he does sub. He's not going to sub. Just going to kill the Starmie. Which I think makes sense. Like, no need to risk Starmie waking up. But you take down the Starmie. Chansey really weekend. Good spot. Cloister still has no health. So we'll see. Taurus is going to come in here. I mean, again, no Snorlax to, like, click counter, perhaps. I wonder what he's going to get to. I think... Oh, he's going to stay in! Dodge Blizzard and Earthquake off! Very fun turn. Right, you don't really want to go Gengar, I don't think. But maybe now. Chansey, you don't want to go to Executor, you don't want to go to Rhydon, Starmie. It's tough. I think Vileman got the turn right, but Excal obviously benefited from the dodge. Is going to Blizzard again. Not KO the Rhydon. I mean, maybe you just want to stay and get the damage off. But things are now looking very heavily in Excal's favor in Game 2. Just a very, very well-played game by Excal so far, I would say. Very patient. Knows he is favored long-term, I would say, and is waiting for a good opportunity to strike. Not rushing anything. It's very impressive so far. We'll see if this Cloister gets a chance to rest here. But I mean, if you're Excal, you just go... That's into your Starmie, but it is going to try to... It's going to start clamping. It's going to start me here. And I mean, now here, see, Chansey is 64%. I was going to say, if we still have some Psychics. So we're going to get one. It's going to get a special drop. But the soft mode goes up. Now you probably run away, right? And now we'll see. I assume you want to go to Rhydon here. Is going to go to Rhydon. Is going to Seismic Toss, so good play. But now here comes Taurus. Is going to get a big crit. Is that in Hyper Beam range? It is in Hyper Beam range. I guess I should probably just know that. Does carry the lags. Has to go out of Zam here. I mean, if Excal lands a Thunder Wave here, is he going to get paralyzed? Okay. I was going to say Vileman goes back to Chansey to get a heal up. Well, Executor does go to, or Excal does go to Executor. He's gonna go to the Tauros. He's gonna get Sing, and he's gonna miss Sing! And with that, I think it's over here. He's gonna have to lose another Mon here. I guess you could go Alakazam and hope he doesn't get crit paralyzed. Um, but he's just gonna lose Cloyster. Yep, on a crit too. I mean, even if you hit Sing, I still think Excal's gonna win the game. I would say, but would have been interesting. Just in from Shams, the Utah Jazz are trading Colin Sexton and a 2031 second round pick for the Charlotte Hornets for Yusuf Nurkic. Very interesting. And so we'll just see kind of the end of the game here. See if anyone in the Discord is saying anything. Amaranth, Michael Exam, Hard Eyes face. Seems to enjoy that one. Congratulations to Blazing Dark, who apparently just got third place in a GSC Invitational, $190, American dollars. Congratulations to him, fellow RBY Invitational participant. Foops, I love that you got Shem's notification too. Of course, I'm a big basketball fan. I need to know what's up, especially in these like very exciting times. You know, free agency finals just wrapped up. LeBron James gonna get traded. Who knows? But I think we are gonna see Excal come away here with Game 2. So we set up an all-decisive Game 3. Who's hyped? I'm fucking hyped. Vileman is going to concede. And there we go. See, if I were a real host, I would have some things prepared for in between the games. Maybe in between Games 1 and Game 2, I focus on Excal. And in between Games 2 and 3, I focus on Vileman here, right? But then what if there's no Game 3? I don't know. Things like that. We'll take a look to plug the trader cards, I think. I gotta remember where those are. Bayradu, first-time artist for us, and did a great job. So, big thanks. Let's see if we can see Excal's. Yeah, first place, in addition to. Then a top 6 2 years ago. Very impressive. She saw Genesis 7, who I compared Vileman to. Played the first 2 editions. Hasn't since. Isa, who I compared Excal to. These Tauruses here to signify money finishes are pretty sick, I will say. Marco, defending champion, first and third place. Pretty sick. I like this, I think it's Will from Johto. Pretty sick for Mind Gaming. These, I mean, it's Ultra. Pretty clutch. This guy, pretty sick. Who the fuck's he from? Sharpie Indigo. Shiloh, so since this year is the first year we're using, like, the first full animation, you can actually see Cynical here with Ethan. So that's pretty sick. Vileman has the wrong flag. It should be Chile, but don't worry about it. He has Palestine, which is pretty sick as well. But his first, and he's got Palmer, as we know. And we are going to go into Game 3. These people love to click fast. Oh my goodness, things are going fucking crazy. Still start from the beginning. It's going to be a chancy lead. I got poor flashbacks from SPL 15. Flare Axel versus Green on Fire in that one game. So that sucks. I think Excal is finally using his own nicknames, which he hasn't been doing before. He's going to miss 2 sleep powders, which is tough. I think Royal Waters, yeah. So Fog Canyon. So I don't think he's been using nicknames before. He's going to miss sleep powder again. Not great. Is this where he just booms? He's going to miss sleep powder a 3rd time. If I were Excal, he's going to miss Seismic Toss! And we are going to rest. Very interesting. Immediate mod chat. Very funny. So, I mean, Executor is still slower here, right? Of course. He's gonna Thunder Wave again. It's gonna miss Sleep Powder and fucking again. I'd kill myself. Fire Excal. Maybe not, but I'd be pissed off. It's gonna be the last. So I assume this will be what explodes here, maybe? Are we gonna see a counter? Is it gonna be an Earthquake? Is it gonna be Body Slam? So really tough crit there to be put in heavy range. But is it gonna Body Slam? And Excal's gonna get the boom off. So, whew. Things could have been very downhill very quickly for Excal right there. But it's thankfully going to get the boom off on the Tauros. And then if this Executor can wake up and hit Sleep Powder, would be great for Excal. But we'll see. So I wonder if Excal is just running Big 6, which I think he was. He was like 12-0 with combined and Invitational prior to in the last editions that he played it, obviously not counting the show yet, as he's only played 1 game. But I think that was with Alakazam lead. So I wonder if that's this, or if it's just Rhydon, or if it's Alakazam. I love when people just start switching the animations Just really hurry up. It's very enjoyable. I wonder if I can find that stat for us. Gotta go into last year's. Oh, come on. Yeah, 14-0 across a bunch of editions. But I believe it is usually with Alexander. But it is with these nicknames. So we'll see if he's going to switch it up. I wonder if there were some of them that were with Starmie. Who knows? But we'll see. No, what did I miss? That was actually pretty cool. Nah, rah, rah, rah. Let's go back. Where were we at? I don't know. Okay, so he explodes. Try to wake up the Executor. Go to the Chansey, which is asleep. We'll see if that wakes up. It does. Okay, so the Chansey wakes up. Is gonna sing. Is gonna hit this Chansey. Into Tauros. As we go into Executor, and then Excal is gonna sack seemingly, or he's gonna go into start. We switch into Chansey, into Executor. Psychic is gonna Sunspore off and then get slept. Okay, so that's important. So we have 4 against, seemingly 4 against 4. I mean, if this Chansey can wake up, that'd be huge. He's gonna be right on. So we see My Egg Dawn, slightly modified. I mean, with Excal with this Executor asleep, it's gonna miss Body Slam again. Is that the second? It's gonna be Zapdos too? Alright, sure. Whatever. And it is gonna be My Egg Dawn from Excal. He's gonna get the first Earthquake off. Very exciting so far. I mean, I surely you don't just go for this if you're Excal. I mean, you need to keep right on for the Zapdos. Surely. I love when Shops tweets this shit out from agents. Hornets acquire competitive, tough-minded guard and Sexton for their backcourt. Like, who the hell? What are we saying here? Well, Utah gets frontcourt depth and Nurkic, whom Jav has light. Whom Jazz have light. Thanks. So I think with all that, I think Excal is in a pretty strong position here against this right on Zapdos core. The Starmie being Surf Thunderbolt, probably, I guess, probably not ideal. But I guess, I think it's actually probably helpful. I mean, you can't touch this Executor right, but also this Executor can't really touch your Chansey. So I think, and then if these two Pokemon trade, I think that's completely fine. He's gonna miss a third time? Are you kidding me? Holy shit. Holy fuck. How many times is that? That's the third time in one game that Vileman has missed. Has got 1 out of 256. And this is another Rust Executor, too. Holy moly. There's just an absurd game. I mean, it's RBY Invitational. What are you going to say? A crit here would be incredible, but it's not going to get it. Is it Hyper Beam range? And I mean, let's see. I mean, you don't want to Hyper Beam the Starmie. I don't think you necessarily want to Hyper Beam the Zapdos. Is it going to Starmie? Excal is going to Body Slam. Gets the crit. No para. We'll see. It's going to get Thunder Waved. And it's going to play a full pair. So that's a big turning point there from Excal. I mean, expecting a recover, I'm sure, to try to fish for a para there. It's just going to keep staying in. It's going to Body Slam. No crit, no para. It's not going to get Psychicked. It's going to Body Slam again. No crit, no para. Going to recover. Going to go again. No crit. It's going to get the paralysis. So that's huge. And I guess that is probably worth it, right? I mean, setting things for the Starmie and the Rhydon. And, like, there's no opposing Tauros, right? With Zapdos, you have Rhydon. For Rhydon, you have Starmie. I guess the Executor, yeah. So I think it's probably worth it. Especially, I mean, if Excal is going to be able to KO the Starmie here. Mostly, he isn't just going to go to Chansey. And I mean, we'll see if he has Rest. But very, impressive pose from Excal. Going down 0-1, right? As the favorite, playing a Tier 3 player. Has remained steady, which has been very impressive. Vileman has no lax here. So I think we've been missing a Snorlax in maybe all 3 games? At least the last 2. Yes, the last 2 we've seen no lax. From one of the players. Just going to keep going here. Isn't it Psychic? I wonder if we do see a drop, which is actually pretty big here. And Excal's just going to get out of there. Into the Rhydon, though. Pretty interesting stuff here. I mean, I don't think you can risk Starmie getting paralyzed by Body Slam. We're getting crit. So maybe you just stay in and then you just Seismic Toss and KO this? Or you just go to Executor and then you let that die. Yeah, and I don't think Vileman can necessarily take advantage of this being asleep. I mean, you're just going to kill it anyway. I mean, unless you want to rest with the Executor, which I guess could be helpful. Maybe it is worth resting up, honestly, with Executor if you're Vileman, because Starman can't touch you, Executor can't really do anything to you, Rhydon can't really do anything to you, Taurus is damaged, and Para. Chansey is really the only thing, but I guess Chansey just walls you forever. He's gonna go to Zapdos. Interesting. I guess there's 18%. Let's see, a Body Slam Paralysis is going to rest up. So there we go, it has rest. So I think now Vileman has actually, I'd say, stabilized the game a bit. Especially he's going to be able to get a rest off with his Executor, or just keep it relatively healthy. I think that's really important. I mean, if you get some vicious here, is it one para? I mean, this here could be huge. Does not get a second para. None of these Executors can explode, which I think is really funny. And I mean, Executor. I love Rest Executor. I'm a big fan. I've been running it forever. I'm taking credit of that one. You know. Shout out to me or something for looking at games, which I've definitely not been doing, as I've been streaming games. Spies his ass Blazing Dark to best of 5. I wonder if he's gonna do it. I know Oak wanted to best of 5 ABR, and ABR, quote, swiftly declined, which I found funny. And so we're kind of at a stalemate again. I mean, this Starmie, right? I guess, like, Excal still has his own Starmie. I mean, if this wakes up, then you can just go straight to Taurus. Are we going to get a wake? We don't get a wake. That's huge. And I presume we're going to see Starmie come in for Vileman. Let's see if this Taurus can do some Taurus things. No crit. I think we just stand there. We just go to Chansey. So, like, Excal has tools to take this down, right? He has Thunderbolt Starmie as the number one option. But, like, you don't want to let that be paralyzed at all. So we're just kind of playing the game, similar to what I was talking about last game, where you gotta, like, chip some things down to set the table for you to throw the needle, roll the dice, things like that. Because you can't get paralyzed with your Starmie, because you need that for everything. So we're just gonna kind of sit here. I wonder if we see Excal try to get Starmie in. Why is it not here with Thunderbolt? Oh, fuck me. But, like, you really need 3 seismic tosses. So, like, here I wonder if we try to get it in. Here you try to get Starmie in. Nope. I mean, it's not only with anything. But, like, you need it to get to, like, 40. Here, now, see, here do you bring in Starmie. Nope. Just keep her covered. Okay, here we go, Starmie. Vileman does get the recover off. Do you think he just goes for it? No, he just gets out of there. Excal, playing very safe, not taking any risks. Is going to get another chance to wake up this Chansey. It's not going to get worked. It's not going to work. So that's something Vileman has in his back pocket. I mean, if he can get Chansey to wake up, that's huge. I mean, on the downside of that is it lets him Tauros. But Tauros isn't really a threat right now, right? So I think if Vileman can get that Chansey awake, it could be very helpful. But then, does it just go back to sleep? I mean, then you're really relying on Starmie, right? To block sleep. I mean, only 15 more S-tosses, 10 more soft-boiled. I mean, Chansey would be big for Starmie, obviously. So we'll see. We do see Starmie here, well, at 50%. Isn't going to get paralyzed, so surely here we click Thunderbolt. It's just going to go to Chansey. And now I assume we go back to Tauros. So now if we go back to Tauros, I mean, with Starmie 50%, if Chansey doesn't wake up, does go back to Starmie. Oh my goodness. But here now, Excal's going to get a big opportunity to try to KO this. Is going to get paralyzed. Is going to get slammed. I mean, now here, we see we go for the Hyper Beam. Gets paralyzed. Excal goes for Body Slam. KOs the Starmie. So now things are really looking dire for Vileman there with that turn of events. I mean, that's RBY right there. I mean, if had Chansey waking up, if Stormy hadn't gotten paralyzed, things are completely different right now. That's the beauty of the game, right? And now we'll see what Vileman has to do here. I mean, Zapdos just gets walled by this stupid Rhydon, Executor, and Hyper Beam range. Chansey asleep is in range. So it's gotta be Zapdos? It's just gonna be right. I guess it's paralyzed. Oh, I forgot about that. It's gonna go right on. It's gonna nerf quick off. Excal's gonna kill right on. Now I presume we see, yeah, Executor. I mean, this Executor could still do it. Maybe you keep the Tauros. It's gonna double back to Chansey. On Chansey. So alright, we're gonna get another turn to wake this up. But the thing is, even if this wakes up, like Excal just sings again, right? So I'm not sure. And now you're back in this spot where you get a free body slam. Maybe not great. I mean, that's 4 turns, right? 5 turns. It's gonna get the full 6 turn sleep. And get the crit to top it all off. And so now I think, especially dire. I mean, this Executor with this being dead, with Rhydon being sleep, this Executor could still do it. Yeah, you can just go back to. I mean, now also Excal can sing. I would, yeah, you just get out of there. This you can just. I mean, you can even just Thunder Wave this. And I mean, Executor can't touch the Starmie, so I think, and Zapdos can't touch the Rhydon. You still have a bunch of tools. Right, so I think this one is looking like Excal is probably gonna pull this out. And one thing, I don't fear about Excal choking. I guess is one thing, just with how good of a player he is, how he kept calm under pressure after going down 0-1. Like I don't really wonder. I don't really fear Excal choking here. At the point of view of someone who's teamed with Excal, like I'm not worried about that. As opposed to some other players I've teamed with in SPL, SCL history, RBY World Cup, etc. We do get the rest off from Tauros. So that makes sense. More justification as to why Excal stayed in against Starmie all that time ago. And so, like, the Starmie's woken up, or the Executor has, but, like, now Tauros has been rested up, etc. Is that 3? 1, 2, 3? 3 resters, 1 soft boiled, 1 recover, and then 1 Snorlax. We do get the GGs, Vileman forfeits, and Excal is moving on to the winner brackets round 2. Well, Vileman will move on to losers bracket. Again, round 2, nothing about tiers matters. It's all fully randomized matchups. But congratulations to Excal. Very exciting match. And we'll see you all next time. Bye.